Hello, I'm Lincoln Vamus. I'm here tonight to speak with you about political polarization and social media. The 2016 election highlighted a polarized society. Politics has become an us versus them mentality where anything but strict orthodoxy to one party or the other is met with hostility. This is especially true on social media, and I believe the medium itself is at least partly to blame for this increased polarization. For decades, cable news has been a primary source of politics for Americans. But the relatively new phenomenon of social media is changing how we get the news itself. The days of Walter Cronkite are gone. Facebook and Twitter has democratized the ability to consume and even produce political content. The spread of information itself has changed, and news consumption has changed with it. As social media expands, it's becoming a political news source in and of itself. But does the ability to broadcast individual political views affect your audience? In other words, does just seeing politics on your Facebook affect your own views? Trying to think of it as what you are seeing is deeper than that. Who you know, who you follow, and who you're friends with determines what you see. Here's what I mean. Americans are self-sorting into like-minded communities. A book by Bill Bishop called The Big Sort elaborated on a type of balkanization happening within the United States. It's not just rural versus urban voters. The sorting is happening at a much smaller level. What kind of restaurants and grocery stores do you go to? Do you go to bars? Which ones? What TV shows do you watch? Where do you shop? All these things can be indicators of how you vote. Even major corporations have attempted to understand this balkanization to target their audiences more effectively. A 2014 study found that in even racially and culturally diverse cities, people spend much of their time visiting the same few places with the same types of people over and over again. People with similar jobs, incomes, and backgrounds are moving around their town or city in similar patterns. What does this all mean? It means that Americans are unintentionally crafting their own echo chambers. How can you relate to the other side when the vast majority of everyone you know agrees with you? Next is a worrying theme of confirmation bias and selective exposure. In other words, it's seeking out and interacting with information that you already agree with. A 2014 study found that internet users are 71% more likely to click on a news article with the headline they find politically friendly. It's an unconscious tendency to avoid internal tension, and it's perfectly natural. Why read or watch something when you know you're just going to disagree with it? It's human nature. A third element driving polarization involves the spiral of silence theory and the echo chamber effect. This is a simple communication theory that generally states that individuals holding a minority opinion in any group are less likely to speak out. A study from the University of Minnesota cites that Facebook users change their login habits during political events, like the aftermath of an election or big news story. Facebook users that are in the perceived minority log on to their network 10% less during a political event. There's a simple lack of incentive to participate. This means that the majority opinion holders are the only ones talking. The spiral of silence leads to an even heightened echo chamber effect. The echo chamber creates a false sense of overwhelming majority. They feel safe to express their views, while the minority opinion holders are likely to avoid social media altogether. In summation, it's clear that America is polarized. While social media might not be the only cause, I believe it's abundantly clear that's part of the problem. Social media is allowing the political left and right to isolate themselves in separate corners of the internet. Once there, it becomes human nature to ignore divergent ideas and become further entrenched. 2016 might only be the beginning. It's hard to see how these trends will change as social media grows. Nobody has an answer yet, but we all must recognize our own role in creating the problem in the first place. Thank you.